What?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Moments of Magic. Once again, we're unprepared. No, so tonight, Scoop has a very special story he wants to tell you, and I think it coincides with what I wanted to talk about, but maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, over to you.
During rehearsal, it sounded like it did. What?
We
You have
we
rehearsal?
don't.
Wow,
rehearse.
is that a moment of magic or what? So, as a consequence, I think, of actually watching for moments of magic so that we could do this every week on a weekly basis, I've noticed that sometimes they sneak up on you, which, I suppose that's sort of the definition of a moment of magic. Anyway, I've been spending the last week getting ready for Tucson, or the last 3 weeks getting ready for Tucson, which requires me to do an enormous amount of production work, making, like wands and bracelets and finger bracelets and pendants and all this kind of stuff, and angels. And, you get sort of worn out. Plus, I've been in this little tussle with one of my very good customers who wants me to produce a huge number of the same thing. And I keep telling him for years and years and years, I've been telling him, that's not what I do. I make singular things. And so I've been having this, because we have to stay alive, and so we kind of need to keep our customers happy. I've been sort of like dancing around this whole process for the last, especially for the last 2 weeks. As a consequence of that, this moment of magic happened. And it was literally a moment, and it literally happened. I was getting ready. Gene and I were talking about a bunch of stuff, relative to the work that we do, and how things get done, and the what happens to you during the workings of the work. And I was getting ready to go to bed one night. We were still talking, and I noticed that something fell out of my head. And Gene has it. It's right here. It was this tiny blue stone. And as it turns out, it's actually a Siberian blue obsidian. And I've been working, making a bunch of pieces out of that for this customer that I was talking about, who wants me to do production work, which is not what I do. But it fell on the floor, and I looked down there and I saw it, and I picked it up. And Gene said, "Did that fall out of your hair?" And I said, "Well, yeah, it must have." And I had this little startled moment of, wow, this stone that I've been working with that's caused all this trouble has fallen out of my head, which said to me, this is truly a moment of magic, because this idea has been stuck in my head that I really didn't want to do work in this way, because it wrecks how I get stuff done. And I'm looking at it, and Gene and I had just been talking about something called alignment, where I was trying to figure out what it was that it meant to Gene, because it was her thing. It was the thing that she was going to talk about, which she just mentioned. And so, like, there were these 2 moments of magic. One, I sort of understood what it was that Gene was talking about. And 2, I understood what it was that had me so upset about this little blue stone. So it was an actual moment of magic. And Gene has some things to say about alignment, which I discovered that I was falling out of alignment with the way that I work on what I do. And it was causing, distress is too strong a word, but it was making me not want to do what I normally do. And so I had to really think about it, and I noticed that it was actually an idea that was stuck in my head that was causing me discomfort, I guess is the best way to put it. So that was my particular moment of magic, a little blue stone that fell out of my head.
Or you could just be losing your mind, but
Marbles. I'm glad it wasn't a marble.
Anyway, So for me, and I don't know that we'll be able to have to get to the actual stones that can help you come into alignment, but for me, alignment is about just being fully present in your life, and it's about really being open and connected as much as you possibly can to your higher guidance or your higher levels or consciousness itself or source energy, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. But it's just that connection and being in that connection and knowing that you are that and knowing that your essence is that, and that when you are connected, really the love that you are shines out, and there's really nothing else that you need to know or do or even be. So and how that came about was I was, and my moment of magic in all this is I was doing a workshop with a mentor of mine who's a very amazing being, and she was, and I've been working this past year on trust in relationships, and just how to access that, I guess. And so what she said, and she was actually talking to someone else, but it really deeply dropped in for me, this truth that she said. So she's talking to someone else about trust, and she's like, trust schmust. She's like, you don't have to trust anybody. All you have to do is align. Once you're aligned with your own self, once you're aligned with the love that you are, you don't have to trust anybody. It doesn't matter what anybody else does, because what's going to happen is your frequency is going to be at a place that's connected you to consciousness, and the answers are going to appear to you, and all you have to do is trust your own reaction and dance with the person where they are. And that to me brought home a truth that I've struggled with it all my life, and all of a sudden now, whenever that comes up, like, oh God, I don't really trust that person, blah blah blah, the word align comes into my head, and I'll tell you, it's made, and I just took this class a week ago, but it's made an unbelievable difference in my presence and where I am. And so I just wanted to share, because I feel like the more we can come into alignment with the truth of who we are, which is basically love incarnate, the more things are going to go well for us, and the more we're not really going to have to worry about what everybody else does, because we're so much in alignment with our own truth that what everybody else does is what they're doing. There's no charge there. There's no drama there. So that was my moment of magic. And I have one little stone that came to me. We'll do some more stones next week, because I think this is an important concept. But the one stone that I wanted to show is this is erythrite, and it's associated with cobalto calcite. It's from Morocco. And I had my sister, who was visiting us this week, channel with it. And she said, this represents pure love rooted in ancestral love from our very beginning through time. It's a stone of compassionate self-love that, when tapped into, offers renewed life, force, energy, and love and transformation. And so I felt like that was a stone that really represented for me what alignment can be. It's that being completely connected with your higher levels. So that was our moment of magic for this week, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please ask us questions. We love to answer your questions. We will be doing another live sale, part 2, big sale. Everything's going to be marked down on Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time. So join us on Spirit Dancer Crystal's Facebook page, and we will be doing another big sale.
And I think it is telling that we both had moments of magic that were separate from each other. A lot of the most moments of magic that we've talked about have been things that happened to both of us at the same time, but this was like separate ones that were actually in congruence with each other. So I was just sitting here thinking, I said, I wonder if we're actually aligning ourselves with moments of magic so that we will either create more or notice more, or maybe that's a really interesting thing to be
All of the above.
yourself you're aligned with is moments of magic. So we leave you with that interesting thought, and I sure hope that you guys out there in viewing land come up with some with some questions and stuff, because it changes the way you think about stuff when there are
We think
questions
about stuff.
asked. Well, all of us.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we will see you next week at 7 p.m. Central Time, or we will see you Sunday on our sale.
and that will be the moment that we're getting ready to leave for Tucson.
Yeah, we'll be going to Tucson the next day. So anyway, thank you so much.
Happy New Year.